Hey everybody, we're back again doing promo videos for Prodigal Christianity, and we're on Signpost 5 now about Scripture. What have we got to say about Scripture?
You were going to start it.
Oh, all right, yeah. Here's what we're trying to say with Scripture. It seems like when you're caught in this new post-Christendom world that the same old authority structures aren't working. For instance, if you say the Bible is inerrant, people are going to go, huh? What do you mean? Oh yeah, each proposition is true, and you're going to get caught up in scientific arguments, etc., and diminish the authority of Scripture. Likewise, if you say, hey, it's just a library of experience, people are going to say, oh, that's kind of cute, that's interesting, maybe I can get in touch with myself. Either case doesn't really get at what the authority of Scripture is, and so we need to understand the authority and dynamic of how God's authority breaks in through Scripture differently if we're going to be prodigal and cross over into new contexts.
Right, so we can't rely on science to guarantee the authority of Scripture. And we can't rely on some community's commitment to a book to guarantee the authority of Scripture.
Or even experience. Right, I'm going to get in touch with my experience of Scripture.
Right, and so we're trying to...
Who knows where we're going to go with that, right?
No, experience leads us to bad places.
Sometimes. Not always.
Okay. But we're trying to understand a more prodigal way of looking at Scripture. And so we want to place Scripture within the overarching story of God. God's authority in Scripture is only a function of God's kingdom breaking forth within our lives. And so we look at the whole story of Scripture and how God, bit by bit, from Adam to Abraham and Moses and the Israelites all the way through to Jesus, how he's setting up his kingdom. And Scripture only has authority in the midst of the kingdom of peace and forgiveness and reconciliation that's breaking out.
So we're inviting people into a story, but it is the story, it is the true story out of which they learn to know and understand who God is, and they bow before His authority in and through Scripture. And it's a whole interweaved dynamic of authority, and it really enhances the authority. Well, the authority needs no enhancement for Scripture. Scripture is an authority, but we need to bow before it, not turn it into a scientific document. That's what we're trying to say in Prodigal Christianity.
Scripture's our story, and we need to start living more confidently out of it.
Amen. Prodigal Christianity, Signpost 5.